Hey, it's me, just in a different format. So there's some vocabulary that I wanted to go over, but I also wanted to do it in a way that's a little bit different other than me speaking, even though I'm speaking in a video instead of live. So there's the need for quantitative data when it comes to research, and that is data that can be quantified, numbers, the amount of time it takes to react to something, the number of correct answers, the number of attempts, things like that. So when you're doing research, when you're doing your IA, you need some quantitative data because we are going to be doing some statistics with it. Is an experiment valid? Does it have validity? Well, that depends. Is it measuring what it's supposed to measure? So if I'm measuring aggression and I'm having people do math problems and I'm measuring how well they did on the math problems, but it's not related to the aggression that they're feeling, that's not a valid measurement. So having them do times tables but not explicitly linking it to the aggressive situation doesn't work. Are the instructions standardized? You will need to make a script. You will need to make a script. You will need to make a script when you do your experiment. You need to have step by step by step clear instructions. They have to be the same every time. It sounds robotic, but it's important because that makes sure that your experiment has the same instructions given to the participants. Speaking of participants, what's your sample size? If I say that I surveyed 12 IB psychology students at Sequoia High School, and 75% of them say that they prefer In-N-Out Burger, and that is what I think. Pardon my hand there. That is what I think the entire school prefers. Then that's not really valid because my sample size is too small. Maybe 75 students from each grade, that might work. So your sample size for your internal assessment, I would stick to 15. 15 is a good number. Maybe 16, so you have two groups of even amounts. Counterbalancing, that's important too. Counterbalancing basically means that you are varying how you're giving the experiment. So say one group has a list of words that are printed in blue and another group has a list of words that are printed in black. Well, you might want to mix it up so that you have three people from the blue group go and then maybe three people from the black group, or not even that, maybe three people, two people, one people, four people, however you want to do it. So you would pass out the papers to your participants in random order. There'd be a blue one and three black ones, and then four blue ones, and it's a randomization of it. Finally, reactivity. So you have to be careful that maybe sometimes your participants will see what you're doing and they'll be like, okay, I'm being observed, so I better act a certain way. So that reactivity means that when you're being observed, you do react in a certain way, and that might bias your experiment because then the participants are behaving in a way that they think they should instead of how they naturally would.